Hi, I'm Bryn, if you don't know me, and today I'm going to be doing the eyeshadow palette tag. This tag was created by Samantha March and Allie Glimes, and yeah, I just thought it was interesting, so I wanted to do it myself. So yeah, if you want to see all about my eyeshadow palettes, then keep on watching. This tag has 13 prompts, so I'll be showing you palettes for all the prompts. And yeah, the first prompt is your newest palette, and my newest palette is actually the Alma palette from Amy Hearts Beauty and Amy Loves Makeup. It looks like this. I love it. I got it in February, so I haven't gotten any new palettes in a while, but this is my newest one. I double checked my shipping dates on my email to see, because there was a couple things that I got around the same time and I wasn't sure what was the newest, but this is my newest palette and I really enjoy it. There was some controversy around this palette and this brand with Amy Loves Makeup, so yeah, but I do really like it and I'm glad I bought it. The next prompt is your oldest palette, and definitely I'm pretty sure the oldest palette still in my collection. It has probably got to be the Modern Renaissance from Anastasia. Mine looks like this. If you can see, I've hit pan in 6 of the shades because I was trying to pan it, but actually I think on Love Letter I just hit pan naturally, or was it Venetian Red? One of those two I just hit pan on accidentally because it was my most used shade in the palette. I think it was Love Letter for sure. But yeah, I really enjoyed this palette. It's definitely old as balls, which is why I wanted to get some more use out of it before I got rid of it, which I don't know when that will happen. We'll see. The next prompt is show your most expensive palette, and I have 2 palettes because they are both the same price. They are both from, you guessed it, Natasha Denona. So I have the Sunset palette and the Lila palette. The Sunset looks like this, and then the Lila looks like this. They're both really pretty palettes and they're definitely expensive as fuck. They're both $129, and I don't think I got either one of them on sale, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I mean? So yeah, these are definitely my most expensive palettes. Next is show your most affordable palette, and that is definitely my Milani Soft and Sultry palette. It looks like that. It's just a nice basic cool tone palette. Yeah, I don't reach for it a ton, but I love using this shade as a brow shade when I'm running low on brow product, which I am right now. But I didn't use this in my brows today because I was being a lazy sack of shit, so I just threw in gel and called it a day. But yeah, I think this palette is $15, I want to say. I think they might have discontinued it though. But it is the most affordable palette in my collection. It's the only drugstore palette in my collection besides ColourPop. But this is cheaper than my, or is it? Oh shoot, now I don't know. Maybe my 12 pan ColourPop palettes are cheaper. How much are those? Why do I not know? I don't know, we're gonna go with this one. This is my cheapest palette. The next prompt is show your everyday palette, and this was really hard because I don't use the same thing every day. I change it up depending on my mood and just kind of vibe I'm in and what I'm in the mood for, and you know, it changes. So usually if I'm doing an everyday look, I'll just use whatever products are in my project pan because I'll pick more everyday products for that because I know I'll get more use out of them. But the palette that
What are you doing?
It's just me cat the whole time. Okay. So yeah, my everyday palette, I'd probably say the ColourPop So Jaded palette. This was in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. It looks, oops, like this. What are you doing? You're stressing me out, making me think you're gonna shit in that box. This is what it looks like. I removed the 2 pressed glitters because they weren't eye safe and I didn't want to be tempted to put them on my eyeballs, but I have nowhere else to put glitter, so. But yeah, I feel like I just chose this because it has like everything I need, and it's just so easy to like reach for on a daily basis because I have my blues and shit. You have your like neutral warm tones. You have a couple greens, some like pinky shades. It's just perfect. It has like everything you need. So that's why I decided on this being my everyday palette, because I can't just have like a little 9-pan palette and use that every single day and call it done. Like I need more, you know what I mean? So yeah, I also have pan in 3 of these shades. Very proud. The next is Show Your Most Colorful palette, and I actually had a lot less colorful palettes than I thought I did. Like I don't have any like rainbow palettes per se, but I thought I still had more color than I do. But I decided that the Juvia's Place Zulu was my most colorful palette. It looks like this. I was in between this and the Masquerade because those are my two most colorful palettes, but I felt like this one had more shade options and was brighter, so I chose this one. But yeah, and I love the blue in here, and this like matte teal is really nice, and this like rose goldy shade is gorgeous, and I like this purple, and I just overall don't reach for this palette enough, but it is in fact my most colorful palette. Next is Show Your Smallest palette, and that is for sure my Natasha Denona Mini Gold palette. My friend got this for me for my birthday / Christmas. I don't even remember, but they're about around the same time and she got me a gift, so yeah. But it's a really pretty like greeny palette with this gold and then like a transition shade, and then you have these 2 greens over here and then this like darker shade that you can like deepen it up with. And yeah, I really like this palette, and it's definitely my smallest. The next prompt is Show Your Biggest palette, and that is definitely my Juvia's Place Masquerade. This thing is gigantic. It's bigger than my head. So but it looks like this. It's just a really pretty colorful palette, and then colorful palette, and then oh my god, and then these bottom 2 rows are more neutral. But yeah, again, I don't reach for this enough, but it's a really pretty palette, and I love these like top shades. They're so pretty. And this is my biggest palette because it's fucking gigantic. Like look at these pan sizes. Then we have Show the Palette with the Best Memory, and I would probably pick my Profusion Wanderlust palette. It looks like this, and I chose this palette because I feel like this is what really got me into color. Like all these blues, greens, and purples just like really got me playing more with color and being more comfortable wearing color out and stuff, like to class and things when I was in school. And I just really like it, and it was just such a good palette. It is such a good palette, and I bought it off of Kelly Gooch's recommendation. I bought it off of Kelly Gooch's recommendation, and I just really enjoy it, and it really got me to like step outside my comfort zone and start enjoying color. If you see me now, you wouldn't be like, he didn't used to wear color. No, I used to only wear like bronze, pink, and orange. Like, and then I started wearing color this year, and I feel like a big part of it was this palette. Then we have Show a Palette That Is Worth the Hype, and for this one, I feel like this palette didn't get a ton of hype, like especially when it launched, but like since then it's been getting like a lot of recognition. Why can't I talk today? Recognition on YouTube, and I feel like everyone that I have seen talk about it just like loves it and adores it. So that is the Jackie Aina palette from Anastasia. She looks like this. Again, it's more of like a neutral palette with some pops of colors and pinky purples. It's just a gorgeous, I got it. It's just a gorgeous palette, and I really love it. I need to use it more yet again. This shade Zam, unbelievable. So yeah, I just love this palette, and even though it didn't get a ton of hype when it first launched, I feel like it has been getting some hype on YouTube, and it's definitely worth the hype. Now we are going to talk about a palette that is not worth the hype, in my humblest opinion. I was looking at all my palettes, and the most hyped up one that I just don't think is necessarily worth it is my Sunset palette from Natasha Denona. Don't get me wrong, the shimmers in here are unreal, out of this world, beautiful, metallic, glittery, gorgeous. But the mattes, sometimes I feel like they just aren't as pigmented as I want them to be. And since it's $129, I would really like them to be as pigmented as I want them to be. So, yeah. It's still a good palette, but I just wouldn't shell out the money for it unless you have a spare $130 laying around. I don't know why I did, but this was my first Natasha Denona palette because it was so hyped up and everything, and yeah. But yeah, so I just don't know that this one is worth the hype, even though I still like it. Then we have show your favorite palette from your favorite brand, and if you watched my eyeshadow palette ranking, you should know what this is gonna be. It was my #1 palette, and that is my Kaleidos Electro Turquoise palette. Let me get it open. Looks like this. It's a gorgeous like teal palette with this pop of orange, a nice like deep brown, like this beautiful silver shade. Like I just love this palette so much, and this shade is absolutely everything, like absolutely everything. I already have a little dip going in it, and I've only had this palette for, I got it like in January, so. And then finally we have show your most used palette. And it was either between this palette or my ColourPop So Jaded because they're the only palettes with pan, but it had to be this one. It's the Modern Renaissance again. I have 6 pans in her, and the only reason I had so many pans is because I was trying to pan this palette and I was using it as my everyday palette for a few weeks and everything. So yeah, but it's just a really good everyday palette, I feel. I personally don't even think these like pinks are very colorful or anything. Like that's just like a neutral for me, okay? So yeah, it's just a really nice everyday palette. And I've hit a lot of pan on it and I've used it a lot. I don't know why I was talking like this is the everyday category. I picked the ColourPop one for the everyday category. This is the most used. It's obviously my most used. I have a couple more dips going in shades that I don't have pans on. Yeah, I was trying to work on Raw Sienna. There's a little dip in there. There's like a little dip in Vermeer and Primavera. And there's a slight dip in Antique Bronze. Juan Fresco and Red Ochre are getting there. Like there's a little bit of wear and tear in there. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed getting to look through all my palettes and what I think of them. And if you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more shit like this. Adios.